Last night, UFC Vegas 110 produced 8 finishes, and we're going to get into each one of those in just a moment. Also, UFC Vegas 111 stands before us with UFC 322 the following week. So we got a lot to discuss on today's show. We'll get into the reactions from last night and the highlights, obviously, and the predictions for UFC Vegas 111, and discuss some changes to the UFC 322 card next.
Broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the TCMMA podcast with your host, Chris Cross.
Whoa!
Dana White privilege.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Dana White privilege. Privilege.
Welcome to the TCMMA podcast. I'm your host, Chris Cross. And what a night it was last night at UFC Vegas 110. The UFC returned to the Apex Center for the first time in over 2 months. Now, we're not counting Dana White's Contender Series, right? We're talking just about UFC fight nights and pay-per-views. Now, we're not having any pay-per-views in the Apex Center, but we are having fight nights every once in a while. But the UFC now, 5 years post-pandemic, is starting to circulate around the world once again. And we're getting fight nights all over the place. But we returned to the Apex Center, and it makes for an interesting thing last night because the octagon is much smaller. When you got like two heavyweights with Waldo Cortez Acosta and Ante Dillia throwing down in a small octagon, it was phenomenal to see. And we want to start out with that fight because it takes us back to last week. We're fresh off the eye poke situation with Tom Aspinall, where the fight had to be ruled a no contest, and then you get the same thing this week, but the fighter continues and then gets a KO. Check out this reaction from last night. And this is truly amazing. This is something we haven't seen before. To me, that was more than 5 minutes. Oh, big right by Acosta! Oh my God! And Cortez Acosta wins the fight! And then grabs his eye. Dude, what? Are you serious? Oh my goodness, bro. And Acosta is on the ground. Wow, so just phenomenal. I mean, Waldo Cortez Acosta comes back after getting poked, gets the KO, and then goes back to his knees, grabbing his eye. It's like a complete 180 from what we saw last week with Tom Aspinall bowing out. Now, that was for the title, so different situation, but just a phenomenal way if you're Waldo Cortez Acosta to come back and get the win. Can't say enough about it. And a lot of people are talking today, should Tom Aspinall have continued like Cortez Acosta? This guy's number, 6 in the heavyweight division, and he's a problem, and he's coming. But the top 5 might have something to say about that. Then you had Steve Garcia, David Onama in the main event. This fight didn't let down. And of course, as we've seen throughout this year, this is quite possibly going to be the first year where we have more losses than wins. And we took a chance on David Onama last night, and it was clear from the very beginning that it wasn't going to go our way. Check it out. Another big left and an upper. Onama goes down. Oh boy. And Garcia's pounding away. Onama is reeling. Oh, Onama's in all types of trouble here. Herb Dean's really looking at this already. And that's it, man. Wow. Steve Garcia gets the finish. Wow. First round KO. Yeah, so once again, we lose. We get the main card and the co-main wrong. In the co-main, we thought we won with Dillia, but it turned out we ended up getting a loss there too. So rough night at UFC Vegas 110 in terms of the final 2 fights, but we had some other good fights on this card. I mean, 8 finishes, incredible. And here's Isaac Dolgarian versus Yadier Delval, a guy who's undefeated. Watch this reaction. He's underneath. He's been underneath, but Bulgarian keeps fighting the hands. And here we go again, another opportunity. Can Yadir get the finish? Oh, Bulgarian's going to tap. He does. It's over. Wow. Yadir Del Valle. So another big finish there. And there were 6 submissions on last night's card. Truly phenomenal fight card to watch in terms of the grappling ability. And here's one with Billy Elicana getting the big finish, sending the crowd roaring when it happened. Check this out. If he can land that left. Oh, right hook. Christian goes down. Elicana's on top, pounding away. Ref saying, watch the back of the head. Now this fight's going to go to the ground. He gets underneath quick. Billy Elicana and flattens him out. Forget about it. And he can't tap. He can't tap because his hands are tied up. It's over. It's over. That's it. Wow. He had him pinned in a way that he couldn't even tap. So Billy Elicana winning in a big way, proving himself. Last night you had several other fights up and down this card that led to finishes. Those are the 4 that we wanted to highlight, but you also had Jeremiah Wells beat Themba Garimbo by decision. He moves to 13-4. He looked good. Charles Radke subbed. Daniel Frunza. Alan Nascimento subbed Cody Durden, who took the fight on short notice. Billy Elicana subbed Kevin Christian. You just heard that one. Timmy Kuamba beat Chang Ho Lee by decision. You also had Dante Johnson, right? In the UFC debut, coming out of the Contender Series at 6-0. He gets the big win over Cedric Dumas and made it look easy. It took him into round 2 for the first time in his career. He was 6-0 with 6 KO finishes in the first round. But he ends up getting the guillotine submission in round 2 to get the win. Norma Dumont beat Ketlin Vera by split decision. Elise Ardelean got the win. Looked phenomenal last night against Conejo Ruiz, and she's really coming along. Don't let that 11-7 record fool you. She seems a lot like Angela Hill, who could have peaked a few years ago if she didn't have some setbacks. But Ardelean is coming for sure. Siakian Ko dominated Phil Rowe 30-27, just dominated the ground game, and Talita Alencar subbed Ariane Carnelosi to start the night. So that's the way it went down. And we got 2 weeks at the Apex Center before UFC 322. So we're getting a lot of exciting fights up and down these cards. You got a big week coming ahead of us. But first, UFC 322, big shift. Bo Nickel gets moved down to the prelims in favor of Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis, which, that's a high level fight, right? You got to put that fight in the main card. You also got Leon Edwards, Carlos Prates. I'm really interested in that one. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. I mean, those 2 guys are combined 36-1. So we got another week before we get here with these fights, but a lot of good ones up and down the card. Roman Kopylov versus RoboCop. Russia versus Brazil in that one. We've seen some really good Russia versus Brazil fights in the last few weeks. So that's what we got ahead of us, and you definitely got some big fights coming at UFC 322. But you have asked, and we have delivered. The TCMMA merch shop is now live, and we got a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, summer is just ending. We're rolling into winter very quickly. So we still got t-shirts and hats up, right? We got hoodies rolling out. We got your toboggans, or whatever you want to call them, rolling out as well. Sweatpants, all these type of things. But the bottom line is, for several years, you have said, Chris Cross, when are you going to roll out the merch shop? And the merch shop is finally here. So it's time to get it, right? You can't ask, and then when I deliver, not get any merch. So that's what it's time to do. And you see here, there's all different types of products. I mean, you got coffee mugs, hats. You can change colors of t-shirts and any other products that you want. And look, we still got crop tops. So that means that the summer is still here. It's still with us. We got another 2 months before it really gets cold. But we are rolling out all the winter gear as well. So we're right in the middle right now, and you got multiple colors to choose from. So get on to the merch shop. You can click the link in the description of any video and get you some gear. And guess what? All the proceeds really just go to help us continue building this channel. So help us out and get some merch. We got another fight night. We got UFC Vegas 111 featuring Gabriel Bonfim versus Rude Boy Randy Brown. Oh my goodness. I hope this is a guaranteed win for us. And we've already made the pick. I'm sitting here saying, I know who I want right now. But, you know, a lot of these fights have been close. And when it comes down to the prediction, it could go either way and we're just picking wrong. It happens. So we'll get into that in a moment. Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales in the co-main. And then, of course, you got Muslim Salikov taking on Uros Medic, which that's going to be a high-level fight for sure. And that's where we're going to begin with the predictions. We're going to look at the big three today. So let's jump into that one right now. You got Russia versus Serbia in this one. Muslim Salikov versus Uros Medic. Play it. In the welterweight division at UFC Vegas 111, you got Muslim Salikov taking on Uros Medic. This should be a high-level fight. Fight three in the main event or in the main card. So we're working our way up. When you get to this one, Salikov 22-5 from Russia, Uros Medic 11-3 from Serbia. So you're talking about two very strong guys, very capable of finishing their opponent at any time. Medic 2 inches taller at 6'1". He's 32. Salikov 41, but don't let that age fool you. Medic 1 inch reach advantage. He fights left-handed. Salikov fights right-handed. Now, this is going to come down to activity versus takedown ability. Medic dominates in activity, 5.5 significant strikes per minute to 3.4 for Salikov. But Salikov gets like one takedown every 3 rounds, so he's capable of getting the takedowns. That's something to keep an eye on, but he's also very capable of KOing his opponent, as we saw in his last fight against Carlos Aleo. First round KO in 42 seconds. He also beat Song Keenan by first round KO. And Santiago Ponzinibbio, oh boy, by split decision. His last loss, believe it or not, was against Randy Rude Boy Brown, who KO'd him in the first round, and Randy Brown's taking on Gabriel Bonfim in the main event. So if Uros Medic is going to beat him, he's going to have to end the 3-fight win streak. Now, Medic 55% takedown defense, but a lot of that is because McTybeck Oralby took him down 7 times. Other than that, he was only taken down 1 time by Jalen Turner, and that's all I can see. But it's led to his takedown defense being 55%, even though he's only been taken down in 2 fights out of like 8 or 9 UFC fights. So in those 8 or 9 fights, he's like 6-3. Losing to Punahele Soriano, McTybeck Oralby, and Jalen Turner, all good fighters. He beat Gilbert Urbina last time out by first round KO, so they're both coming off KO wins. He beat Tim Means by KO, Matthew Semmelsberger, spinning back elbow KO, Omar Morales KO. So this is going to be a high-level fight. Salikov in between his wins and losses, so it's a perfect setup, perfect fight. But I just think Uros Medic is too strong. I think the 3-fight win streak for Muslim is coming to an end. Medic, I think, lands the KO sometime in the second round when Muslim starts to slow down. That's how I see it playing out. But either way, Medic wins to be the 12-3 here. Welterweight division. UFC Vegas 111. Yeah, so we got Uros Medic winning a close fight, but trust me, Salikov is a guy that's capable of finishing you at any time. And he's got the takedown ability. I don't like Uros Medic's 55% takedown defense, as you heard. But I think this is, 7 of those came against McTybeck Oralby, who lands like 2 takedowns every round. So he should get 7 against Uros Medic. So I think Medic will, his percentage is more like 70 to 75. Right? In most of his fights, he's not giving up takedowns. So I think this is one that he can defend the takedowns well. He may give up 1, but he'll bounce right back. Now, in the co-main event, you got a big one too. Flyweight division. Matt Schnell, who's looking good, takes on a 14-2 Joseph Morales, USA versus USA. Let's jump into this one right now. In the flyweight division at UFC Vegas 111, you got Matt Schnell taking on Joseph Morales. Both guys from America. Schnell 17-9, Morales 14-2. Schnell 2 inches taller, 5'8", 35. Morales 31. So Morales right in the prime. Right in the prime. Schnell 1 inch reach advantage, 70-69. He stands right-handed. Morales is a switch stance fighter. But Schnell, much more active on the feet, 4.1 significant strikes per minute, which is really average. But Morales is 2 per minute. Both guys don't land a lot of takedowns, but Morales can get like 1 every 3 rounds. So like 1 per fight if it goes a distance. Schnell 43%. So that might be up to 2 or 3 takedowns in his fight. He beat Jimmy Flick by decision, but before that lost 3 in a row to Matthias Nicolau KO. Steve Erceg KO. That makes sense. Cody Durden submission. So not a good look in those 3. Morales 28% takedown defense, so neither guy really good at stopping takedowns. He beat Alibi Idris last fight out by submission. Before that, he lost to Eric Shelton by split decision. Oh, that's back in 2018. Wow. So really all we have is the last fight for Joseph Morales. And was that for the Ultimate Fighter? It might have been. It might have been. And that was on the Duplessis Chimaev card. So that was a big night at UFC 319. Tough pick here because Schnell is struggling, but Morales is like an up-and-comer. I mean, it's going to be interesting, but I'm going to lean towards Morales here. He's got some momentum. You know, you ran through the tournament you were in, got the belt, and now you're in the UFC and you're 14-2. So he's going to have to show up against Matt Schnell. It's not going to be easy, and he knows that. But in a big, you can almost call it UFC debut almost, because the last fight was in the UFC, but it was, you know, it is what it is. But it's almost like a UFC debut. The guy's going to be pumped. He doesn't want to be here for a fight or two and be gone. He wants to win and stay in and up his money as he goes forward. So he's going to be ready to roll here. I like Joseph Morales to win by decision, 2-1, very close, possible split. But Morales will pull it out, in my opinion, to move to 15-2, and he'll do it with the ground game here. Flyweight division, UFC Vegas, 111. Yeah, so long story short, we got Joseph Morales winning this fight, but I think it is going to be a close fight, as most of these fights are. As you get closer to the top of any card, right? It doesn't mean someone's not going to go in there and get rocked and get an early KO or submission or something like that and make it look easy. But these fights certainly can go either way. And speaking of going either way, the main event, which has just plagued us this year, welterweight division, Gabriel Bonfim, 1801 versus Randy Rude Boy Brown from Jamaica, Brazil versus Jamaica. Oh my goodness. Randy Brown's 20-6. And I just dread this prediction because it's like no matter which way we go, the other guy is going to win. And this is a guy in Gabriel Bonfim that does have a loss. Randy Brown is battle tested and is never an easy out. So how's this fight going to go down? Let's get into it. In the welterweight division at UFC Vegas 111, your main event, Gabriel Bonfim takes on Rude Boy Randy Brown. And never overlook Rude Boy. This is going to be a great fight here. Bonfim 18-1, Randy Brown 20-6. This is the fight if you're Gabriel Bonfim you want, because you need a win over a guy like this on your resume. Now Brown 2 inches taller is 6'3", he's 35, Bonfim 28. Bonfim young, entering the prime, Randy Brown a little older. He has exited the prime, but still looking pretty sharp if you ask me. Randy Brown 5-inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Both guys 4.5 significant strikes per minute, but the big difference here is that Bonfim lands more than 1 takedown per round. So Randy Brown's takedown defense is going to be very important here and likely won't hold up. Bonfim 76% takedown defense, beat Stephen Thompson by split decision. Chaos Williams, submission, second round. Angelusa, decision. His only loss in his UFC career was against Nicholas Dalby, who KO'd him. Even though he gave up 3 takedowns, KO'd him and led 53-39 in significant strikes. So can Rude Boy accomplish that? Now he's got a 73% takedown defense, so you figure that's going to go down to 60 or 50%. Bonfim is going to be relentless with takedown attempts, so he's going to land takedowns, although it's hard against Randy Brown. Even though he's a tall guy, it should be easy. And Randy Brown KO'd Nicholas Dalby, right, who KO'd Bonfim. So highly, highly interesting fight. He lost to Brian Battle by split decision. Led in significant strikes by just 3, so it's basically even, 2 takedowns to none, so very close fight there. Split decision makes sense. Beat Elizio Zaleski dos Santos by decision. KO'd Muslim Salikov. Defeated Wellington Turman. Before that, he lost to JDM, who's the current champ. So Randy Brown's legit. It's going to be an interesting fight. Listen, oh, gosh, man. And these main events this year have just been ridiculous because no matter which way I go, I'm probably going to be wrong. That's just how the year has been. But I like Randy Brown. I'm leaning towards Randy Brown anyway because couldn't remember who was against, but I knew in his last fight, he was like, whoa, didn't expect that. Okay. Then you look at it like that was against Nicholas Dalby, and Nicholas Dalby beat Bonfim. So against a common opponent, Randy Brown beat him, and Bonfim lost. So I got to go with the Jamaican here. I like Randy Brown, and it's tough because I'm going against a Brazilian, but I like Randy Brown to get the win and move to 21-6, likely by KO. Because if it goes to a decision, I don't know if Randy Brown's going to win that. So it's going to have to be by KO. Going out on a limb again, y'all. Welterweight division. UFC Vegas, 111. Yep, so my fears do come true because we made this pick about 3 or 4 days ago. And then we had all the reactions from last night at UFC Vegas 110. So I kind of forgot about it. And I'm like, I took Gabriel Bonfim, right? I know I didn't go against Brazil in the main event. But yes, I did. Because Rude Boy is battle tested. Am I 100% confident on it? No. Disclaimer right out the gate. Because we're 17-19 this year. And Tom Aspinall really hurt us a few weeks ago because that was a gimme. Uh, you know, that didn't end up coming to fruition. So we'll see how it plays out. If we go to 17-20, it's going to be complete despair for the remainder of the year because we're getting to the point where we don't have many fight nights or pay-per-views left to mount a comeback. So we really need this one, and then we can get into, if we can get within one, and we got Madalena versus Makachev, that would really help because I believe that one's going to go my way, but more on that one next week. For now, it's your boy Chris Cross. Have a great day and God bless, as always.